Hello, and welcome to the Voices of Bellevue School District podcast, where we amplify the voices of students, staff, and families, sharing their unique lived experiences to strengthen our Bellevue community. In each episode, we'll explore We Belong, significant cultural traditions, customs, and lived experiences of our beloved Bellevue community. We learn academic programs and innovative initiatives, along with the staff and students behind them. We lead discussions with leaders in our community on topics that drive innovation in education.
Hello, everyone. This is Janine Thorne, and I'm joined by Dr. Kelly Aramaki and our educator at Newport High School, Jenne. Welcome. Congratulations. I hear that you have now been awarded Washington State Secondary Art Teacher of the Year. How does that feel?
I'm honored and I'm excited to uphold that award.
Yes.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
And it feels really good.
Yeah. This episode of Voices of Bellevue, we will be talking about leading. We have Belong, Learn, and Lead. That is a part of our strategic plan thrusts. And we're just talking about how does it feel to be a leader in that space? So let's start with a question of the day. So the question is, what's your favorite sport, either to play or to watch?
Oh, man. I like to run. So I don't know if that's, I'm a runner. I'm pretty proud. My daughter just started cross country, so I'm wondering if she's going to follow the same route.
Nice.
But I think to watch, I really like figure skating. I think it's really elegant and beautiful, and it has like an aspect of dance to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I always cringe, worried that they're going to fall down and stuff like that. I mean, my favorite sport to play, although I haven't played it in like 10 years, is tennis. And so I love watching tennis and I love playing tennis. And people tell me that I should try to get into pickleball because, as I get older, they say it's a little easier to play, but I'm fighting that. I don't like to run like you do, but for exercise, I do get on the treadmill while I'm watching the Great British Baking Show. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Running towards your goal.
Exactly.
That's a good one. Basketball for me all the way, but I have to admit that for the Olympics, I love synchronized swimming. That's my favorite.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Well, thank you again on this episode of We Lead. What was it like when you received the news?
Well, first I received the nomination from one of my colleagues and also from, the Washington Art Education Association. And I was flattered and put in my resume and my experience. And when I heard the news, actually, I saw an email that gave me a refund on the conference.
Oh, no way.
Coming
That's
up this
so
weekend.
awesome.
And I was like, wait a minute. Did my card not go through? Yeah. Like, that was my first thought. And then my second thought was like, no way. Because I know that they pay for the conference for you if you are a winner of one of the awards. So I searched through my email really quickly to see if that was the fact, and it was. And I was really excited and, kind of couldn't wait to tell my husband and my daughter. And of course, my daughter's first questions were like, how many people were you against?
That's awesome.
She was so excited. She's like, is this like the whole country? She had all kinds of questions. So it made me feel really good in front of my family to be honored, but to be recognized for our art program and what we've done, and also for what I've done in my career for the past 20 years. But then I'm not very good at sending that out about myself, I guess. Like I don't brag about myself a lot. I just do my job and work with my kids. So when it started going out through the district and our curriculum developer, Jessica Holloway, sent it out to people, and I started getting people coming and talking to me. And I think I even realized what a bigger deal it was, rather than just being honored by my family and them being proud of me. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, I can't wait for people to hear just some of the ways that you teach and inspire your students. I feel so lucky to have talked with you at the end of the year. Last year, we were doing the Bellevue School District end of year kind of art showcase celebration. And I was so inspired by your ability to inspire your students. And so I can't wait to talk about that. But the one thing I wanted to do was I have in front of me kind of the award letter from the Washington Art Education Association. And so I just wanted to read what was written about you And so it says, Jennifer Bitter, people call you Jen, but your kids call you Bitter. I love that. Jennifer Bitter is an accomplished and respected secondary level visual arts educator. In the words of her nominator, Jen Bitter is an exemplary high school art educator with a long-standing commitment to excellence in teaching. She not only sets a high standard for how visual arts should be taught at the high school level, but that also includes advocating for a more inclusive and accessible curriculum. Jen's dedication goes beyond the classroom. She is deeply involved in curriculum development, art shows, and contests within our local district. She played a key role in helping identify the needs in our school in the design of 2 new art spaces at our high school. Her students' accomplishments, from high AP scores to awards in local contests, reflect her tireless efforts. Through her advocacy, participation, and passion, Jen Bitter truly stands out as a leader in the visual arts community and as a leader here at Newport High School. That is just extraordinary.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's so awesome. And I think what's even better than that is even though you're the art educator of the year, I still get an email from you asking me if I want to be a teacher creature feature where we get our photos turned into ghouls, which is awesome. So you bring the fun, clearly.
Thank you.
What is, I mean, not to like change the subject on that, because today happens to be Halloween. And so I have a mummy sitting next to me and I have a skeleton sitting across from me, although she's going to change when she gets into the car. But can you just tell me about that? I'm so curious about that, the teacher creature feature. And I can't wait to see what I look like as a ghoul.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for participating too.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's kind of vulnerable to submit your selfie to students and be like, go ahead, make me into something, so thank you. My computer visual arts students at Newport High School have been studying all the tools and techniques in Photoshop. They've done a few assigned things, and they just turned in a really big project where they do a creature concept design for video game or for movie coming up. They've done some research and put that in. So we have 2 days in between this unit and our next unit. And our project for these 2 days, since it's Halloween, is to use those skills that they've learned in Photoshop to transform their teachers and staff and people throughout the district that donate their picture into vampires, werewolves, ghouls, and zombies.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. I love it. I can't wait to see it.
So what inspired you to become a visual arts educator? What was your journey like?
Well, I've always wanted to be an artist. I do artwork outside of school. I went to school for art, but I have to say that I grew up in schools and with art. My dad was an art teacher, I should say. He's retired. Yeah. My mom was a kindergarten and first grade teacher. And with both of them being teachers, I spent a lot of time at school. Mm-hmm. And I'm very comfortable at school.
Wow.
And I loved school. I liked school, but I loved the programs that made me feel comfortable at school. And art was one of them. Being a person who has anxiety and, I deal with that on a daily basis. Walking into a new space is difficult. Mm-hmm. And I think that's difficult for the average person, mm-hmm. right?
It is.
So making a space that's comfortable for me is important, but also for my students. So coming into this, I knew I wanted to be in art. I'm very comfortable in schools. I love working with kids. I love teaching new things. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to go the route of being a teacher. I'd say that some of my experiences in high school were uncomfortable, and I wanted to make arts accessible and that feeling of comfort for all of my students. That's kind of my goal, more so than anything else. Mm. I want them to have a place where they can express themselves and work toward being themselves as a whole human being, but do it in a way that it's comfortable for them. We have so many different kids, so I hope I didn't get too deep there.
No, that's so good. It's great to hear you say, mm-hmm. You've been in the kind of education setting, as a kid, but how you want to create that place of inclusivity and comfort and safety. And I'll just say that is so evident. I mean, you just exude that, but I just got that sense that in your art class, you not only create a place where kids who love art can thrive, but kids who have just a multitude of identities or, cultural backgrounds can just be themselves. And I want to just, I was so moved. You have a student who presented their artwork, kind of their AP capstone project that they submitted. And they just talked about doing this whole research project about different transgender, like historical figures and from different cultures, different backgrounds, and how they were able to do this research that reflects their own identity and personality, and how they were able to weave in then all of these different technical pieces, skills in art, and then bring all of that together to produce something that represents them. And it was so spectacular. And I just thought to myself, this teacher has done something remarkable. I mean, creating this space of kids' pride in who they are, and then bringing in, like, helping kids to see how they can take art and express that. And can you just talk about, like, what you try to accomplish in this AP art class that you teach?
Yeah. That student was very impressive. It still continues to be impressive. I'm still working with them, even though they're not in my class. But the AP art classroom itself is fantastic because it brings in so many different skill levels and so many different personalities and humans to express within 5 to 10 pieces of artwork something that they're very passionate about. They make a professional portfolio. The portfolio is submitted to me, and it can be submitted to the AP College Board if they would like to, but it's not a requirement of the class. And what I really like about the AP class this year is that we took away the prerequisites so that it would be more accessible.
Oh, that's cool.
In the past, we've had students who, if they haven't taken 2 art classes beforehand, have had to come and show me their portfolio. And I really wanted our students who are in special ed, or our students who maybe art isn't their major, or, I wanted other students to feel like they could take an AP course where they could express themselves and it not have something that leads up to it like that. So we've got 2 classes this year instead of 1.
Wow, that's
which
so cool.
grew the program. And they're being successful. They are exploring different mediums. They are able to, spend the first couple of weeks experimenting with some unconventional things with me, finding inspiration from different areas that maybe they haven't looked into, that they have available to them locally. Mm-hmm. So our wonderful Newport PTSA, I have to shout out to them.
Absolutely.
They've funded field trips for us. Already the students have gone to the Bellevue Botanical Garden and drawn from awesome. Life in their community. They look inside themselves and do identity pieces. They look at what they buy from the grocery store and think about like how they could make that into an interesting piece of artwork. So we try to find like inspiration from what's in their immediate lives. Mm-hmm. And then now they're coming up with their portfolio ideas, like you had seen at the award show, and they get to pick something that relates to them and then spend till about beginning of May creating this portfolio. Wow. Yeah. They book meetings with me where we get to sit down and talk about art, which is one of my favorite things in the world, to sit and listen to them and talk about their ideas and figure out how they can accomplish their goal. So it's definitely a teamwork kind of process. It's definitely, they help each other in the class and I help them. And honestly, they teach me things along the way too. We have some materials in the classroom now that we didn't when I originally first started teaching, because some of the students, I want to work with resin. I'm like, okay, I haven't done that since college. Let's look into that. Let's see about that. And now we work with resins in the classroom. So they keep me on my feet, on my toes. Cool. Yeah.
I noticed that it's important to you to help students find their voice through art. Can you expand a little bit and tell us how behind that? How do you help people or help students find their voice and express themselves through art?
Yeah. Again, the AP class, all of the classes are able to do that. We leave most of the projects are open-ended at Newport so that you can put your own swing on it, but especially through the AP portfolio, when you're working on coming up with your idea, They start off by making lists of all the things that are important to them in their lives. What are you passionate about? They make mind maps, like figure out like what are the connections? What are connections to the materials? And then moving forward, what can you spend months on that you're not going to get sick of, like creating artwork about, and how that flow would work with them as far as like it developing and not just staying the same thing. So the voice portion of it is a lot of activities that group activities, talking to their table mates. They switch it up, move around the room, talk to different PI partners. Megan Troutman is one of our ITCLs over at Newport High School. And we do some stuff in the staff meetings where they come up with ways that you can group students and stuff. And I've used some of those in the classroom and they've worked so fantastically. So just getting them, to kind of feed off of each other as well, but figure out what they're passionate about.
I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see what your thoughts are about the evolution of the teaching of art over time.
Yeah, I think it used to be a lot more product based. Right. And a lot more structured. I know it was when I was in school until I got to AP Art, and I took AP Art in high school. I'll date myself a little bit. We actually turned in slides when I took AP Art in high school. Awesome. So like now they do their digital submissions. So it's a little different. I still have my slides I show my students. It's so really cool. Funny. But I would say that even now in the level 1 and level 2 classes, we have more of you do smaller level projects to do that learning and coming up with whatever the design is that you would like to do. So it's more student led than it used to be, but still having the same techniques and skills that you need to do, learning about the tools and the safety of it. And then what I really like is that we've moved into having studios where students can come in and then use those skills to make what they want to make. I know that also Hannah Yale over at Bellevue High School does that as well. I just want to do a shout out to her because she's amazing too. And so are all of my other colleagues. We do these smaller learnings, teach the kids how to do the techniques, and then give them studio time, and they just have to be working. And then at the end of the semester, the really big thing is they all have a gallery show. They show what they've done over that time.
Can you just talk about like the design of your space and how you came up with it, so that kids could do this kind of work, independently together?
Yeah. It was another honor to be asked to be on the remodel committee, and you didn't get bored the whole time. You were actively engaged on how you could make this new space have a better flow for the students, make it so that it's more fun and comfortable for them to be in. Our new rooms for art in particular are fantastically laid out. They have better student storage. The art supplies are more accessible for all of the students. We have more room for our kilns and more kilns that we're firing in. Yeah. So there's so much to be excited about in the new build. Yeah.
Hey, BSD family, we'll be right back after this short break.
Hi BSD, my name is Tatiana. The Interlake Winter Plant Sale is almost here. Come to Interlake on Friday, December 6th or Saturday, December 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can buy wreaths made by students and holiday plants for your home or office. You can also buy trees from Interlake FFA clubs, fused glass art from Evergreen Transitions, metal arts from Interlake metal programs, and other gifts made by students. See you December 6th and 7th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Interlake High School.
What has been your motivation, or what has inspired you from collaborating or talking and working with your colleagues? And then what advice would you give a new teacher?
I want to first off say that my team at Newport is amazing. I am in my retirement career here. I want them to work it all the way through till I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like Melanie Falk and me, Lynn, are fantastic coworkers. We meet for lunch every day. Awesome. We enjoy being around each other, but we also enjoy supporting each other. Little things like, Melanie, when she prints out forms, she'll print out one for everybody. I'm actually the department chair, but they all do so much work awesome. As well. So the work around there with the three of us is fantastic. Yeah. So sharing rooms with them, sharing materials with them, and also we talk about our lessons together. We talk about our assessments together. So my team is so important to be able to do what I do, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them. My colleagues in the district are fantastic. We have some of the best art teachers that I've ever experienced working with. I've already
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah, really, our Bellevue School District art teachers are amazing. Jessica Holloway is our curriculum developer. She also works with WAEA, and she has written, she's done a lot. I wouldn't be able to cite everything she's done, but she has written grants for us to bring visiting artists in, and we've brought in local artists and had them speak and do projects with our students. She is our biggest supporter and collaborator. Mm-hmm. Art teachers at other schools are the same as well. I just met with Jennifer Preston over at Tyee, one of our feeder schools for Newport. And we have in the works a couple murals going on that the Art and Action Club at Newport will be doing with middle school students. So getting those students involved together so that there's a connection, but also we have a field trip coming up where the 8th grade artists will come down and they'll do something in the art wing with us so they'll feel comfortable coming to Newport and have that familiarity with the new school that they're going to be going to once they bump up to being, or not bump up, but move down to being a freshman down the hill in our school.
The second part of that question, what about teachers, new teachers? What advice would you give for them coming into the profession and working with students? What would you say to them?
I would say that you have a lot of veteran teachers in our district especially, but and I feel like in a lot of districts, you have veteran teachers to lean on. Teachers put a lot of time and effort and have a lot of experience that you can learn from, but also want to help with new teachers, I feel like. And I would say that our students are just so fantastic. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine being in any other profession. I tell people I have the best job in the world because I get to do art all day, explain art all day, and I get to do it with the most fun and enthusiastic kids. But also, even if they're not enthusiastic, you get to be a part of their life at a time where there's so much development and so much change, and you're making, whether you know it or not, such an impact on them during this time that it's kind of really a privilege to be within their experience. I kind of feel like I'm more in their experience than I am in my own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something that's always struck me is, as we, our goal in Bellevue is to send kids out into the world to be good people, to do good things for people and for planet. And sometimes that means being a doctor or doing things like that. But art is one of those places where, you can change the world through art. And so I'm just excited about thinking that kids could be thinking about the world, what they love, about themselves and who they are, and can find ways to express themselves through art so that when they leave us, that is a medium that they could use in which to make our world a better place. But I'm just curious your thoughts about art at Newport and then art just in the grander picture of what we're trying to do for our kids.
I'm a little biased on that because I feel like our education is so important for us to be our whole selves, our whole human being. I think that it teaches you to observe your surroundings more, but it also helps you to be a creative problem solver in lots of different ways. It makes you think about yourself and how you fit in, how you express your voice. It's so important in you being able to tackle things in different ways and to see different perspectives. There's so much art around us that people don't even recognize is an art form. Everything that is in front of us is designed by someone. So I feel
That's
like,
so true.
Yeah, that it's really important. And as far as it being a joyful part of the student's day, I also think that's very important. When you talk about Newport and academics, I know I've actually had parents say to me before, will your daughter go to Newport because it's so stressful? And my response has always been that 100% she will go to Newport. She wants to go to Newport, and it'll be her experience, and her experience will be what she makes it and what we do as well as a family. And she needs to take things that are important to her, but she doesn't need to take 6 APs to be successful.
That's right.
And I think that that's one of the key messages there too, is that, you have to do things within your day that feed you as well, and then don't just look good on your transcript.
I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm so proud of you and of the Newport team, because every opportunity for academic achievement is there, but the focus on joy and on creativity and on community is so evident. I mean, you walk through that building and it's just, you can't help but smile and look ridiculous because the kids are just so happy. I mean, it's really awesome.
Yeah, I'd say the feeling walking through the hallways is fantastic. Obviously, with a bright and shiny new wing, it's really easy to be happy in the hallway when you have so much more room and so much more light in there. I love the new hallway to outside of my room because they installed a place for us to do our critiques and gallery shows.
So
and
awesome.
I thought about it when you mentioned like walking through the hallway and smiling, because I've been out there with students and doing these critiques, especially with AP, showing their work, talking about their work. And I've had like, a principal walk around the corner or something, like students walk around the corner like, oh, what are you guys doing? And kind of join in with what we've been doing. And I think it's fantastic for the artists to see the joy also on other people's faces about what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It's a great way it's a plug for the program as well, but it's really the kids are proud of their work. They're proud of what they've accomplished and their voice that they're putting out there. So
what does the future look like for you in terms of what would you like to see happen next in art education? What you want to do with your students next? Talk a little bit about that.
Moving forward, I would like to expand the AP program even more so that, it's more accessible and even having more students like joining that program. I'd also like to see our funding, and this isn't towards the district necessarily. This is more so just that, we have a lot of materials. There's a lot going on with that. And we have a lot of issue with our enrollment going on in districts and funding and stuff like that. So it would be really nice to figure out how our programs can be funded better so that art teachers can continue to do what they want to do. You have Melissa Masoda over at Sammamish doing glass blowing.
I know. That is the coolest class. I love that so much.
It is so cool. Where else in the country can you go and do glass blowing? Yeah.
Come on.
And you have students doing stained glass at Newport High School with me, and glass is really expensive. And we have a very equitable system where our students aren't charged fees. If you go out into the community, you pay about $150 to $200 to do one glass project in a workshop. And our students do like 6 of them, right? So they have these grand opportunities. And I just hope that we can work on like our funding for the programs to make sure that teachers can continue doing what they're doing.
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
We are woefully underfunded in Washington State. And when you look at what is funded, anything extra isn't funded. Opportunities to bring kids together aren't funded. Glass is, of course, not funded, and it should be. Coming out of the pandemic, kids have changed, but they are demanding a better education. That's something we're going to fight for, and we're facing budget cuts all the time, but classes like AP Art, like RCT classes, in some cases for kids, they're the reason kids go to school.
Yeah.
And so we absolutely have to maintain funding and protect the investments in that. So you've got my support on that, and we're going to keep fighting for that together.
I just have to say congratulations again. You just do amazing work. Thank you for all you do with our students.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to the Washington Art Education Association, obviously, for the award. Fantastic. And thank you to, them and the unions and all of the people who support Washington art educators throughout our state. And thank you to you for the recognition, but also for the great conversation. Yeah. This has been fantastic.
Awesome.
And, obviously thank you to all my Newport peeps that might be listening to this because, they make the school fantastic. I love our admin and our staff, and I love where I work. So
go Knights.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll just close out by saying, again, we are here with Jennifer Bitter, the Washington Secondary Art Educator of the Year for Washington State. And so we are just so proud of you. We're proud of the work that you're doing at Newport with your kids. We're proud of how you represent Bellevue at the state level in art education. And we're just thankful for your passion for students and for art and for being a part of our system. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Yeah.